Hey guys, welcome to another episode where we take you behind the scenes with Duke's football program. Now, before you watch this video, if you haven't already, be sure to go back and watch our behind the scenes tour of the new renovated locker room with the Pickett brothers, Justin and Joshua Pickett. Today, for this episode of Behind the Scenes, we are talking with some of the unsung heroes of the Duke football program. I'm talking, of course, about the grounds crew. I'm here on Brooksfield. We've got a great episode. We're going to be talking with Ian Christie, who is the Senior Superintendent of Grounds here at Duke University. Let's go have some fun. All right, guys, I had to make an audible call. As you can see, my stand-up, I was wearing a hat. Now I'm wearing a toboggan. It is cold. It is windy. But you know what? The grounds crew is getting ready for the final game of the 2024 season here at Wallace Wade. And so we're going to be talking with one Mr. Ian Christie, who is, let me make sure I have this right. Are you the Senior Superintendent of Landscape Services?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
So, Ian, not a lot of people know who you are. So let's just get a little bit of a background. You've been here for 12 years. Tell us how you got to Duke.
It's quite the story. It's
Okay.
quite the story. I thought I wanted to be a major league groundskeeper.
Okay.
And even though I'm a computer engineer, I thought, you know, my parents were engineers. I thought I wanted to be an engineer.
Okay.
I couldn't sit in an office. So I was like, okay, I played baseball in college. I was like, hey, you took care of fields in high school. You took care of fields in college. You're like, this is what I want to do for a living. So, I got my degree. I got my master's degree in sport management. So I love sports from the get-go. I spent some time down at Georgia Southern, and actually Duke came calling. They had an opening up here, and they asked if I wanted to come up. So I started just doing athletics, and in 12 years, I've, kind of grown up the ladder, and now I take care of half a campus.
Okay. What sports do you take care of?
Here? Technically, I take care of all of them.
All of them. Okay.
I take care of dorms. I take care of the quad. I take care of, football, everything.
You're a Renaissance man, is what you're saying.
It's a lot of moving pieces around here.
So again, you've been here for 12 years now. And like with Wes Pickle, when we talked with him, with the equipment staff, you've gone through 3 administrations, Coach Cutcliffe, Coach Elko, and now Coach Diaz. What are some of the differences between the 3 coaches in your time here?
Difference. I like the similarities. All of them have loved grass.
Okay.
All of them have loved grass. They have the appreciation for what we do.
Okay.
So I can get behind that. They all had high expectations, and they want what they want. The difference is, you could say, Coach Cut was probably more of the old school type, very minimalistic. I want my football team to be the showpiece. And I think college athletics as a whole, even football, it's changed. It's changed, and we get the new designs and stuff I think people love to see. Right. The new age of football, we are part of, I would say, the experience. I want to believe we are. You guys say the field looks great, and I want to, be a part of that. So.
One thing I want to go back to, and you hit the nail on the head, that was actually one of my questions I was going to ask you, the difference between artificial turf and natural grass, because it seems in our eyes, the fans' eyes, in the last few years, Duke has struggled when they go to artificial turfs like Northwestern, Georgia Tech, even UNC as well. UNC has artificial turf. What are the biggest differences that maybe the average fan might not know is a huge difference between grass and artificial turf?
The biggest difference probably is we can't manage synthetic turf as well as we can this. Mm-hmm. For me, if something gets worn out here, mm-hmm. I can fix it. I can sod it. I can seed it. I can roll it. If something happens with synthetic turf, it's a man-made product. It wears out. I can't just make it happen. And so I think that's the thing. People see an artificial field as maintenance free. Mm-hmm. Well, as we see, Northwestern gets worn out. There's not a lot you can do to it.
Right.
You can brush it, you can groom it, you can clean it, but it's like, once it starts wearing out, it becomes what it is.
So if they came to you and said, Ian, we're thinking about going to artificial turf, what would your response be?
Obviously we are here to serve them. They need to have fields that they can, put a product on the field that wins. And if that is what it is, I will help them do that.
Right.
I would probably try to sell grass more so than anything else because, it is safer. It's easier on your joints. I think if you ask like the NFL, do you love playing, on grass or synthetic turf? I think probably most of them would say, I want grass.
Okay.
And our industry has come so far that, here it is, November 22nd, it's 28 degrees this morning. You're bundled up. But with no ryegrass or Bermuda grass, and I try to tell people this would look good for September and October.
Absolutely.
So technology and our industry has come a long way.
So let's talk about game weeks for the home game slate. It's usually 6, maybe 7, depending on how the schedule comes out. Next year, I believe it's going to be 6 as well. Walk us through a typical game week for the grounds crew. When does it start? What do you have to do to get ready for a Saturday kickoff? Or let's say
that's a good thing. Saturday,
Yeah.
Thursday and Fridays throws a whole new wrinkle.
Yeah. So walk us through what a typical Saturday kickoff game week is.
So it all starts with the grass, and so I would say Mondays and Tuesdays tend to be our get your canvas ready.
Okay.
So we get it fertilized, we get it rolled to what we need to. We'll set up the pattern for what we're going to go with. And then after that, it's just paint. Usually a 4-day split is what I call it. So we'll usually go white on Tuesday, Thursday, and then our colors on Wednesday, Friday.
Okay. Just to get the outlines ready for end zone, on field, everything like that?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the biggest misconception that some fans might have about when it comes to groundskeeping and getting a field ready for game day?
It's a lot more than just mowing. Water it and mow it.
Okay.
As you said, I need some tips. Like there is more to it, and it's a passion of mine. It's probably why I'm starting yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you. There's a lot more to it from an agronomic standpoint.
Yeah.
There's nutrients, and there's we can't just throw all the water and all the nitrogen out here. I think we'll get a phone call from someone say, hey, that's not environmentally sound, and that's what we are. Even as an industry, we do what we do, and it's high input, but it's also sustainable and trying to what we do.
So obviously we've got the in-season preparation. Walk us through off-season. When does it start? When do you guys get ready from the end, let's say, of this season, 2024? Let's go fast forward to 2025. When do you start the preparation of getting the game field ready, the practice field ready for the team? And what does it take to get things ready?
We've started. And that's
already.
Well,
Okay.
and that's where, especially in my role now, me personally, I'm starting to think, when will we sod? When will we aerate? When do we do those things next year to be efficient? Because once we get to spring ball and we get to graduation, we're already there.
Yeah.
And so if we haven't, bought our products and kind of formulated a plan, we're kind of behind the 8 ball. Because I kind of have to know what I'm going to do to communicate to, Coach Feely and Coach Diaz about what I'd like to do. And then they kind of help me. And that's why this staff's been great. They kind of help me because they know if I have what I need in times and windows, they get what they want. So if I'm not prepared, they can't be prepared, and then we end up fighting each other, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about off camera before we started, you had mentioned that Coach Feely asked about possibly practicing on the main field to get ready for a bowl game, because we know Duke's going to a bowl game. We don't know where as of this recording. It's Virginia Tech weekend as we're recording. So does that put a delay on getting things ready if the team's on the field longer? Into the season, into December as they get ready for a bowl game?
It doesn't necessarily put a delay. It creates the dance.
Okay.
The dance, because you've interviewed Coach Feely. The program and what all that he runs is top notch. It is the best in the country in my belief. So our goal is to get him what he needs. Because from an efficiency standpoint, he's probably one of the most efficient people we know. He's on point. He knows what he wants, but he also respects what I do.
Right.
And that's the key about this whole organization. Everyone has a respect for what everyone's role is. So we've already started that conversation about what it looks like from what I need and what he needs. And so we kind of find what times and stuff like that. And that's why I call it the dance. He's got to do, if there's no football team that's efficient, there's no need for a field. And I don't have a job, and then he doesn't have a job. So we're all kind of on the short end of the stick here, but it really is a mutual kind of come to a consensus of what it looks like.
Okay, Ian, we've got to talk, and let's get a shot of him. One of your hardest workers. Give us a little background. Who is this little guy that's painting the hash marks on the field?
That's Sergey.
Sergey. Okay.
Yes.
How long has Sergey been a Duke employee for?
He's of Danish descent.
Okay.
This company, Turf Tank, has we've had him for about 6 years.
Okay. 6 years.
He's been an integral part of our staff.
Okay.
He doesn't complain. Unlike some people.
Whoa, hey.
The cold doesn't bother him. And I would say 90% of the time he's on point, and he does what he does what he needs to do.
Yeah. So what made you want to bring Sergey onto the team? What was it that interested you to get a machine like this to help paint?
It goes to what you said, or what I told you earlier about the changing technologies. And Sergey allows us to grow out all the paint. So, we were off probably 4 weeks. We didn't have a home game.
Yep.
So we were off for about 4 weeks. The whole paint grew out.
Yeah.
So I don't have to start a whole couple days laying everything out, stenciling things, pulling strings, stuff like that. I don't have to do it anymore because I can rely on him to say, hey, let's drive them out here, hit play, and it'll repaint it in the exact same spot I did before.
Okay. You said it earlier. You're a computer engineer. How does Sergey know where to paint lines? Because as I'm watching him right now, to me, I'm thinking Sergey could go haywire at any moment and just start painting lines everywhere. How does he know where to paint?
So it has happened.
Okay.
And it can happen.
Okay, he's gone a little rogue sometimes.
He's not completely where, that's why we always have one eye out for him.
Gotcha.
But, he's on point all the time. So he's actually right now talking to satellites, circling.
Okay.
And then he's triangulating off our cell tower. So
wow. Okay.
The satellites are getting him, hey, you got to be in this general area. And then the cell tower that's talking to a base station on top of Cameron is telling him, hey, down to a centimeter, this is where you need to go.
So it's GPS essentially.
GPS guided. Yep, just like a drone.
Okay, so
but very, very precise.
So he does the hash marks. Does he do the lines across the field?
He does. He does everything. He'll lay out the lines, even if we do it by hand to make them brighter. He will lay them out, so I know exactly where I need to go. He measures things out because it's GPS precision. I can always get a tape measure to tell you what you want to know.
Wow. Okay.
So I can stretch it. So you're not going to beat the accuracy of GPS.
Right.
So we'll lay out fields and we'll paint them like that. Even if we go by hand, it just saves so much time.
Now, how did you come across this technology? You had mentioned to me off camera that it was you here at Duke and UVA. Y'all were the guinea pigs, or
that's how I got the idea. Jesse up at UVA.
Okay. Shout out Jesse. Thank you,
Jesse. Yes. The whole industry talks with one another. We get along with the guys at UNC. We do, and there's so many stories that everyone thinks we're supposed to just hate each other. But if I need something, Casey helps me out, and if Casey needs something, I'm one of his first phone calls.
A brotherhood, essentially.
It is. And Jesse was the one who said, hey, he's trying this out, loves it. May want to try it. And we were at a time like, how can this help us to be better? And that's where, Duke's always been, since I've been here, how do we get better? How do we be the pioneers of what we do? And so I started using it, and ever since, whether new staff, whether old staff, everyone just be like, that's a tool that I think everyone should have.
Any consideration of getting Sergey a coworker that's like him to help make things quicker, or is it just one's
right now? To me, one. I think two's better than one, but one is better than none.
Exactly.
And we're trying to just maximize him. He does our logos. He stencils out logos. Most of them, not all of them, but he can do a lot, and that's why we're just trying to flush everything out of him we can.
How long does it take him to do, let's just say, the hash marks in the lines in any given day?
So hash marks, all sets of hash marks.
Yeah.
It's about 20 minutes a run. So I would say close to an hour to do all hash marks.
Okay. Wow.
So like when we paint the practice field, he'll paint everything, you know, the outside lines, hash marks, ticks, and it takes about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Which isn't bad for one person to sit there and be like, hey, let's let him go.
And you stated while Sergey's doing his job, that gives you and your staff the freedom to focus on other things, like say the end zone or
divots. And stuff like that. You know, while we're painting, you have one eye open, but you can be surveying everything else that we got to do because there's so many details around us that often get overlooked and people are focused out here, but it's your edges, it's your valve boxes, it's the field goals. Are they straight? You know, don't look close enough, but we'll get them. But, you know, and that's why part of our industry, it's a whole kind of complete package, not just right here.
All right, Ian's taking a little bit break. He's got to be the boss. He's got to tell people what to do, you know, even Sergey. So I'm actually here with Todd Allen.
Yep,
He is a veteran here at Duke. He's been with us 17, 19 years?
Yeah, 19 years this year.
And you have been painting the whole time on the field? Is that right?
Yep, the paint shop for FMD assists athletics on the field, and that's the way it's always been.
Now, one thing you were telling me, because we just talked with Ian about Sergey.
Yep.
How different has it been when it comes to painting fields from when you first started to now?
Well, like I said, from going from string lines to measuring stuff out to painting with non-mobile machines to now to robots that do all the outline for us. So it makes it a lot easier.
Gotcha. Well, folks, Ian and Todd are trusting me. I'm going to help out get things ready for game day against Virginia Tech. They're going to let me paint a little bit of the end zone. Now, you guys will have seen what it looks like by the time this video comes out, but we love it. We got the Hellraiser still in the end zone. We've got the Gothic Duke in the end zone, and we're painting it black. So Todd's going to show me how to paint an end zone. So Todd, is there any process technique? What do I need to do exactly to make sure I color within the lines?
Okay. So this fan is going to come out at this angle right here. So it's like drawing. So if you're pointed at this angle, the sharper line is going to be at the base and it's going to extend out.
Okay.
So if you want to carve this line, like I would
okay.
So then you can just drive it and just spin it, you know? I mean, you can actually turn and do your circles as you need like that. So,
all right. So Duke fans, you just saw the professional. Now the amateur novice is going to try this. So hopefully I don't have to fix anything.
So I always put the lock on.
Okay.
That way it doesn't accidentally go off.
Yep.
So flip that up and then you will be pointing it. You can spray it this direction like this in the semicircle.
All right. Let's get this. All right. Lock off. Perfect. Oh, look at there. All right. Not too bad.
That's right.
It's like riding a bike.
Seasoned pro.
Look at that.
You see how it shot out here because the angle.
Yeah.
You're using a 12-inch wide tip, so at 12 inches above, it should be almost like 2 feet down at the bottom.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm gonna get a spot I miss. Perfect. I'm not gonna get close to this because I don't want to have anyone repaint anything white. So I'll leave that to you because I see what you're saying. So it extends out. So
instead of a fan, you've made it longer, so that way that's that way and that's shorter.
So you're saying point it down more?
Yeah, point it down more for your coverage, right?
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying now. So yeah, Tyler, if you want to get a little bit closer, I just want to show fans. So if you can see, there's still blue from, gosh, that was 2 games ago.
Yep.
Right. So 3 weeks overall.
Standard university letters.
Yeah, yeah. So good thing about the black is obviously it's going to cover all this up and it's going to make the Duke Gothic as well as the Hellraiser pop really well. So this is nice. This is great. I think, and Ian and I were talking about this, I don't think the last time that there's been black in the end zone, 2012 when Cutcliffe was here, and it was a black helmet.
We did a black helmet. Yep.
Gotcha. I'm going to move a little bit because we got some more crews coming. I'm going to paint a little bit more, and I'm going to give it back to you because you are the professional. I'm going to stop. Listen, Todd, I appreciate it. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to help out for Virginia Tech.
Well done as well.
I'm going to hand this sack to you. Thank you. So it's simple, guys. You just take a sprayer, you spray the paint, and look at the results. And we'll get the full results probably from social media, and we'll add it into the video post-production.
Exactly. All right.
Thank you, sir. All right, and it has been such a great time getting to pull the curtain back really and seeing what you guys with the grounds crew do to get ready. Yeah, a lot more to it than
You're
what.
talented. If you're ever looking for a job.
Hey, you heard it right there. I can put helmets or stickers on a helmet, and now I can put paint on the end zone. Well, before I let you go, I always ask this of our guests, just because it's something that it's a labor of love. But if they came to you and said, Ian, game week, you get to pick the jersey combination, your favorite jersey combination. What are we going with?
I'm old school a little bit.
Okay.
I do like the blue. I like blue with the white, the icy look.
Okay.
I like that.
So are we talking blue, white, blue, or blue, white, white?
Man, these are tough questions. You didn't let me know before we started.
See, that's the whole point. I got to catch you off guard.
I like the blue, white.
Blue, white. Okay, yeah, I like that too. What's on the helmet though? Traditional Iron D, or are we going Hellraiser, Gothic?
I like the Hellraiser.
Love it. Funny note or interesting note, the blue Hellraiser has only been worn one time.
Ooh, I didn't know. I had no idea.
Just throwing that out there, Duke admin for the football staff.
That's a good answer, Steve.
Just throwing that out there. But lastly, we always ask this as well. Anything you want to say to the fans? It has been a great 2024 season. We don't know the outcome of the Virginia Tech or Wake game as of this recording, but anything you want to say to the fans into the camera right there?
No, I appreciate everything that y'all do, the fans do. Football, Duke football here is we are setting records. I think, nothing but high ceiling for us, and it's exciting when everyone else gets excited about it. It makes our jobs, a lot more enjoyable. We don't do it for fans. We do it for the players, but I know they appreciate it. We appreciate it. We love the engagement. It makes it very fun. We love it.
And thank you so much. It was great doing all things grounds crew today. And folks, don't forget, be sure to like, be sure to comment, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more behind the scenes footage. That'll do it for this episode of Behind the Scenes with Duke Football. Be sure to look out for future videos coming soon. You know what I love about Duke football?